Welcome back. Today's video is a bit special as Space Pirate Kumiko has hit somewhat of a major milestone. Um, over the last few months, I've been tackling various aspects of the game. I've had to update several of my tools. I've had to create several new tools for it. I've done pathing, scripting, collision detection, pickups, weapons configuration, laser ball burst patterns, directional firing at the player, and a whole whole bunch of other stuff in between there that makes it really look good. And now that I'm done with all of the easy stuff, it's time to bring all of it together and start building an actual game with it. So to kick all that off, I've started rigging up all of the various game screens into the state machine and getting the overall game flow set up, including navigation. Now I still have a lot to do in the realm of gameplay, including enemy behavior, enemy weapons, a couple more enemy or player weapons, and of course the various game stages that will have to be authored. But this will help bind all of that together into a real game. So let's get started and take a look at the game flow as it currently is, and I don't think that there's going to be much change from this. Now, we do have an updated title page with a stylized title, a little copyright blurb there, several options, and a blinking cursor. I love this cursor. I love this cursor. Now, I don't have click points for the menu items yet, but I do have keyboard navigation implemented, so we'll still be able to move around until I get those hotspots added. Now, unfortunately, with the gamepad that I'm using, I can't get to the corners of the screen. The control I have, the thumbsticks only move around in a circle. And I also only have the cursor on the tile page at the moment. I need to rework some of the code a little bit so that it can be used across all of the states that need it, and of course ignored by the ones that don't. So hopefully that'll actually happen this weekend. Um, Now, of course, we've got our options here are all of our and this of course is all new for the game. We have starting a new saga, which starting a new game, and then of course since you'll be able to save it in between the various stages, you also want to be able to load to it. That'll let you go back to it or stop and walk away for a while if you need to. Then we've got high scores, options, credits, and a chumps page. Of course, we've got to have a chumps page. Now I'm going to go through all this, but I'm not going to do the new saga first. I'm actually going to do that one last because there's actually more pages after that. And some of those will actually cycle through the entire game. So we're going to start with the high scores, which is just pretty basic. You've got your top 10 scores. Eric, Stan, Kyle, and Kenny, and Tolkien. I'll have they're in the top five. Now, one of the changes that I'm actually wanting to make to this is I'm going to shift those up a little bit, and I'm going to add an 11th line down there at the bottom that has the score of the last game completed. That way, not like the last game saved or anything, but the actual last game completed, whether you died or actually finished the game. That way, that way you can go back and look and see what your at least the last score was, even if you didn't make it into the high score thing. So then, of course, we've got an exit button, which will take us back to the main page where we've got our cursor. And of course, we've got our options page, which we can go to, which has settings for your controller type and sound card. Now in this case, we've got it's showing a deluxe joystick. Now, if you've got a gamepad like mine or a controller like mine, then you want a little bit different control going in those diagonal directions. If you look at some of my previous videos, you'll notice I do a lot of up, down, left, rights, not a whole lot of diagonals. Well, that's why I've actually got to update the joystick code in the game to actually compensate for that. So I want to have settings to actually select between those different types of controllers, so that the movement is a lot more fluid and a lot easier for people to work with. And of course, you've got your controller port, which is going to be left and right. Then of course, a sound card, which is Game Master or speech and sound cartridge at the moment. Those are the only two I plan on supporting. And the speech and sound cartridge though is a little iffy because of the microcontroller you got to communicate with, but we'll see. But I do have one already set up and working, specifically for that. Now I'm missing an exit button from this, but that's okay. I can just go ahead and hit any key and it'll take me back to here. Of course, we have our credits, which list not just direct contributors, but those whose code I've included. I've got the ZX0 decompression code that Doug Masson wrote, and the high-res joystick code that Nick Morenis wrote. That's where you got the cursor moving around. Then of course, I've got a list of the some of the games where the sprites were sourced. Now it's not a complete list. I know that I'm missing a couple. I've actually got to go out and do a search for that for a couple of them and dig into it. And then of course, there's a couple of people that I've got to include on there from the from Open Game Art. Although I didn't take their sprites directly, I did take a small piece of it. So, but hey. Then of course, we've got our chumps page, which right now we've only got one chump in there. That's our king. That's Captain Booty Cakes, as I like to call him, Mr. Stevie Stroh. You douchebag. So, and then we can go back to the thing like that. Now we're going to go and start a new game. This actually has a couple of steps to it. So we're going to start a new game. And this is going to take to a new page where you've got to enter your pirate name, and this pirate name is going to be used, or not, when the game is saved. So when it saves it out, it's going to save it to a slot. But when you come up with your little screen to pick which game to load, it'll have that name there. So it just helps a little bit, later on. And then we've got our start button. I need to add a quit button. And this is going to take us to our starting game page, and this is the area where you're going to be allowed to save your game, go to the armory, which you'll be able to upgrade and buy new weapons. Then they should say Start Saga, but Continue is the one that's going to be seen mostly, so I'll get that fixed later. And then Quit, which will take us back to here. So let's go ahead and do a new game again, and we'll go into the armory. So here you've got there's going to be 2 upgrades for the shield. That's the 2 there up at the top, and then there's 6 upgrades for weapons, and there's 2 of them which I know what they are. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pull one of them off. The other one is actually pretty simple, but I'm gonna keep those a secret for until the game is released, because those will be fun ones. Then of course you'll be able to buy and then exit, which will of course take you back into the game page here. Now, one of the things that I still need to do is the fade in, fade outs for the transitions between it, and I need to get I need to update the decompressor to run on with a faster version, switch some stuff back over into the direct page. But that should give me some speed up on that. But hey, it's real cocoa, man. So now we're going to go ahead and continue, or really start our saga. Now, don't worry. If you've seen this, I am actually going to fast forward through most of this. So, of course, you're not going to know whether I actually made it or not on the first try, because I'm going to fast forward. That way, you don't have to watch it. If you do want to check out the actual gameplay that is actually being tested in it now, take my previous video, and I'll leave a link in the description. It has, I think it's like a little over 4 minutes of gameplay. So I'm just going to go ahead and start fast forwarding this now, and we'll pick this up here at the around the boss. All right, here we are at the boss again. Now, this motherfucker, this guy's just gonna keep on shooting at me. So hopefully I can dodge enough of these. If you notice, I got hit. Ooh, sneaky. Damn. Ooh, there we go. Oh yeah, got it. All right. So now we are back to actually where I started. Where I started with this game was these little balls coming on down the screen. Nothing but shooting them and turning them into space cash or space credits or whatever you want to call it. And boom, I can still use my smart bomb on them. Yeah, all that stuff from the very beginning. A lot of it's still in there. Some of it's not pretty. Some of it needs to go away, but it's still pretty useful. But yeah, this is and then now that we've cleared it, we go back to this game screen here, and where we can save our game, go into the armory, continue the saga, or quit. Now for this, we're going to quit because I mean this is really just going to restart, and I've already fast forwarded through it once. So let's hit the Q key, and we are back. Now you can't hear it, but there is a little tick going on. It has something to do with the joystick code. I'm not managing the PIAs correctly as I should. So, but I will be certainly fixing a lot of that stuff, a lot of that kind of thing this week, and moving this forward. So we've got still a whole lot of work to do in order to get everything done. In particular, the getting those. Um, Stages, author is certainly going to be important. I've got plenty of enemies in there now, getting their weapons in there and all of that. But I think that right now the flow of the game, the all of the mechanics, I think everything's pretty where it needs to be, pretty much where it needs to be. And I think moving forward, this is going to start going a little bit quicker in some areas, maybe not so much in some others. There's actually some rework that I've got to do on a couple of fronts, but yeah, I think that for a 512K game, um, on a really a stock Coco 3, 6809, 1.789 megahertz, I think so far it's looking pretty good, looking pretty good. So, well, anyway, until next time, have a good one.